What's going on there, rogues and roguettes? How you doing? My name is Pone. Welcome to the channel, guys. So, my very first Division video, it's going to be a first impressions. I hope you guys are ready for this. So, this is going to hurt, guys. This is... So, I was really excited for the Division. Let me tell you, I pre-ordered it for the full edition, the $100 gold one on Xbox One and PS4. I invested $200 into this game because I had so much faith in it. I thought it was going to be the game to deliver me from the plague that is the terrible games right now. And no, it didn't release me from that burden. I have to be honest that this is not necessarily my flavor of game. The more I play it, the more I like it, but it's never grown beyond just okay to me. It started off extremely terrible, and I'll explain why. Now, this gun has one severe limitation, and though it's not impossible to do, they do not execute it properly. And the biggest problem for this game is that it's held in modern times. That every bad guy is a person. And there's only so many things you can do with that. Now, what I mean by this is take any other RPG, for example. We're talking World of Warcraft, we're talking MMOs, ARPGs, Diablo, stuff like that. And these are fantasy worlds and fantasy creatures, mythological creatures, that they can completely craft and design to play and react any way they want. We are human. Our capabilities are limited. We can't do any crazy shit. We can't fly. We can't go around. We can't summon creatures in the undead or anything like that. We have our limitations. So every time you fight somebody in this game, guess what? It's another skin suit. Just one regular old Homo sapien that you need to kill. So every bad guy you kill is the exact same. At least when you play another game like Diablo or something, you start off with the little skeletons, and then you move into the skeleton warriors and zombies, and then the ogres, and then the dragons. And then it leaves room for amazing and epic boss fights. And that experience grows because not only do you have a game like that, but there are other ways that this game hinders it. You yourself are also a human, so there are only so many things you can do. In games like that, where you have the imagination and capabilities of creating any foundation in world or creature you like that can fly, backflip, do whatever it wants to do, then you have endless possibilities to create a cool experience. When you're just a human, we can only really walk and shoot guns. So every bad guy is going to be that way, and you fall into the same category. So unlike being able to play those other RPGs where you can be a wizard or a barbarian or a tank or a healer and you have all these different abilities that go with them, we're kind of the same thing. They try to nail it with, healing abilities and everything like that, but it doesn't quite work. So when you deal with bosses or elites or tanks, they're just another human with an extra layer of armor. And that's the largest problem for me. I almost just completely cut this game off and never even touched it again after 3 hours. And then I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a second chance. And, the more I played it, the more I liked it, but it still doesn't make it an absolutely phenomenal game. I still don't know if I would recommend people to purchase it. And a lot of this also comes down to the end game. With the limited capabilities of just being human and what we're capable of, every engagement, every person you fight is the same exact experience. So whether or not you spend an hour playing the game, everything you do in your first hour, you're doing the same exact shit in your 20th hour. So once you've already secured a box for the JTF and marked it and defended that point for 2 minutes, you've done it once, you've done it 300 times. And that's another major issue I had with this game. Before you can even go into the dark zone and do that late game, in-game stuff, just like any RPG, you have to get to a certain max level before you can engage in those activities. And that's about 15 to 20 hours to get to max rank 30. So that's 15 to 20 hours straight of the same shit before you can even start doing the grinding part. Now, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like that. Like I said, it's not colorful enough, there's not enough bang there, enough bite for me to want to be killing the same people for 20 fucking hours until I can even start doing the grinding thing. Now, grinding is great. I love grinding games. I'm a big fan of Diablo. Love Diablo. Diablo executes the elements far better than this game does, though. So, honestly, I would choose Diablo over this game. No contest. The truth is, the end game's going to be a whole lot like Diablo. If you've never played it, you probably have no clue what I'm talking about, but a game like Diablo is what I like to call a grind game. It is extremely grindy. It's extremely repetitive. There is no technical end game. There's no reason for you to play besides earning more loot and better loot, and all that bigger and better loot does is allow you to complete those missions quicker to earn more loot. So it's like a never-ending phase of just constantly playing with no real end game or goal or purpose in sight, beyond just having a platform to play on. And this game, don't get me wrong, this game is challenging. The bad guys are really, really strong. They're really dangerous and all times a threat. And that's quite valuable to me. Yeah, they may be the same person in a different skin all the time and bland and boring as a generic character, but they still rough you up. They are still sponges, and you still need to play smart, use your abilities properly if you want to get it done effectively. And there's something to consider with that. I mean, it adds that replayability. Now, the Dark Zone. I've seen and focused on a lot of Dark Zone content for people that have been playing, and it looks awesome. I mean, the constant drops of the superior weapons. I mean, the in-game loot looks promising. Very much like Diablo. I don't know if it'll be as good, but it looks really cool. So they may be able to pump in hundreds of hours into it, but you got to understand, like I said, it's a grind game. You got to understand that's what it is at its core. So many people have never played a grindy game before, and they're going to be like, okay, so I'm at the end, I'm level 30, and what do? Keep farming for the same things over and over again? Well, why would I do that? So it's not for everybody. So to repeat, this is not a game you buy for the experience, you do it for the grind. Honestly, the generic and stale experiences, doing the same missions and same types of missions over and over and over again, not a very enjoyable experience. You're not going to have fun, that's for sure. It just, it can still be entertaining without being fun, but you got to make sure you execute that properly. So there are a whole lot of missions. I will applaud them on the amount of activities they have in the game. Like I said, a lot of them are repetitive or they're very similar to all the other missions. There's just a lot of copy-pasting going on, but there's a lot of things to do. If you're one of those guys that loves playing PvE, just loves grinding, loves collecting different consumables and things and whatever's on the map and exploring the terrain and checking out the whole world, great. I mean, it's not going to be as in-depth or entertaining as like a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls or something in terms of exploration, but it's there for those that may enjoy that as kind of a side aspect of interest, if you will. So it's got a couple things going for it, but I really cannot see the in-game being special. I feel like the Dark Zone is going to be a civil area, actually. It's intended to be a competitive PvP experience, but with the danger of the actual characters in there that can just whoop your ass at any given time just because they can. I don't see a lot of actual PvP happening in there, and until they implement a real multiplayer experience where there's team deathmatch or objective game types, I'm really, really worried about the future of this game. And as hyped as I was for this game, wanting and so eager for it to be successful, and though they did the loot system right, the experience itself, just playing the game, is not very gripping. I'm not like, oh great, I want to play this game. It's not engaging. I mean, I'm just killing people over and over and over again. It's like a people killing simulator. 2016. So if you like grindy games, pick it up. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. If you love to explore and check out vast areas, go for it. It does have its limitations, like I said, which is its biggest flaw. Just a bunch of people in a city at the end of the world. What can you do with that? How can you create crazy raid bosses and really intense PvE experiences? Because, like I said, we are just human. We can only do so much. So unless they plan on bringing jetpacks and we're creating robots or something, what else can we do as people to make this an entertaining or engaging experience that you're not just killing a room full of people and then moving on to the next room full of people and then rotating back around to kill that first room of people just to loot them to get better loot to keep looting them over and over and over again. It's a weird cycle. So you got to understand that that's what this game is. Many people are like, oh, this game's going to be a lot like Destiny. After playing it, it's nothing like Destiny. They are RPGs. They have that in similarity. They have loot. They're shooters. Shut up, phone. And that's what it is at the end of the day. So I'm going to keep you in the loop. I'm going to let you know what I think about this game. Just give me a few days, and I will definitely give you all the information you need to come to a decision whether or not you should buy and purchase this game. So take care, guys. I'll see you then.